What you are about to hear are real experiences, submitted by real people who survived things that should not be possible. Turn off your lights, put in your headphones, and whatever you do, do not watch this alone. We were on the 11th floor. No fire escape, no connecting balcony, no ledge, just glass, open air, and 100-foot drop to the street below. So someone tell me, how was there a man standing outside our window? It was a Friday night. My friend Jason had just moved into his new high-rise apartment, and he invited 5 of us over to celebrate. We ordered food, played music, and by around 1 in the morning, we were all lying on the living room floor with the lights off, just talking, laughing, completely relaxed. The city glow coming through the window gave the ceiling a soft orange color. That's when my friend Derek stopped talking, mid-sentence, just stopped. We didn't notice at first, but then we saw where he was looking. We all turned toward the window, and standing on the other side of the glass, 11 stories up, was the silhouette of a man. He wasn't moving, he wasn't knocking, he was just standing there, head slightly tilted, watching us. No one screamed, no one ran. We were too shocked to even breathe. Then, he raised his hand, and he waved. Not like someone in danger, not frantically. A slow, calm, deliberate wave. Like he had been waiting for us to notice him. Like everything was going exactly as he planned. Then he stepped sideways into the darkness, and he was gone. We ran to the window. We looked down. 11 floors of nothing. No rope, no ledge, no marks on the glass, no explanation in the world for what we had just seen. Jason moved out 6 weeks later, and all 5 of us, to this day, have never once spoken about that night. Some things you see, you just cannot explain away, no matter how hard you try. I was 9 years old, home alone with my mother on a perfectly normal afternoon, and I had no idea that someone had been watching our house for 11 days straight. My dad was at work. My mom was folding laundry in the back room. I was sitting on the couch watching cartoons, completely zoned in, not a worry in the world. We had this large framed mirror on the living room wall, the kind that reflects the window behind you. I wasn't paying attention to it, but something made me glance over. There was a man standing in our front yard, not walking, not approaching the door, just standing, perfectly still, staring directly at our window. I called out to my mom. She walked in, and I watched the color drain completely from her face. Because while I had been calling for her, he had moved. He was now standing right at the glass, face inches from the window. And the moment my mother's eyes met his, he smiled, slowly, deliberately. The kind of smile that tells you, this person has done this before. My mom kept her voice steady. She told him to get off our property. He didn't move. She told him she was calling the police. He shook his head. Then he raised one finger toward her, slow and deliberate. Don't. She grabbed me off that couch and we ran upstairs. We locked ourselves in the bathroom. We sat on the cold floor in silence. That's when we heard it. The back door handle, turning. Once. Twice. What that man did not know was that my uncle was asleep in our spare bedroom after a night shift. He heard the noise. He came downstairs, and he met that man face to face in our hallway. It did not go well for the intruder. Police found him 1 street away. He was carrying a knife, and according to the officers, he had been watching our house every single day for the past 11 days. Every day. While I played outside, while my mom hung laundry. Every single day. I still think about what would have happened if my uncle had not been home that afternoon. The scariest part was not what happened. It was realizing how long it had already been happening without us ever knowing.
3 years doing late-night deliveries, hundreds of doors, I thought I had seen everything. Then came that one address. Registered to someone. Dead for 2 years. Rainy Wednesday night. Long dark road. No streetlights. Every instinct said turn around. I ignored it. The house was dark except for one flickering light. I walked to the door and raised my hand to knock. It opened before I touched it. The man was tall. Heavy coat. No shoes. He stared at me in silence. Then quietly he said, "Has anyone ever told you that you look exactly like someone they used to know?" I repeated the total. He tilted his head. "I used to do your job. Before my accident." He opened his coat. Scars. Everywhere. Deep ones. And the way he looked at me, that was the worst part. I walked back to my car and drove away as fast as I could. When our manager pulled up the account, every detail came back to one man. A man who had died 22 months ago. No explanation. No one came to collect that order. I still drive past dark houses on night shifts, and every time, I think about that door opening, before I even knocked. One motel room, one night, that's all I needed. But someone else was already there, waiting in the dark. For me, 11 hours of driving. Past 1 in the morning, I checked in and found my room. I noticed the connecting door between rooms. The latch looked locked. I was too tired to check. I fell back and was out within seconds. I don't know how many hours passed. What I know is I woke up to something piercing my back. I screamed and rolled off the bed. Through blurred vision, I saw a thin figure. Long dark hair, pale bare feet. Slipping through the connecting door before it clicked shut. I ran into the parking lot screaming. Paramedics arrived minutes later. When they turned me over, they found a letter opener buried into my back. The room next door. False name. No ID. No vehicle. The person was never found. Never caught. I have not stayed in a motel since. I used to think the scariest thing about traveling alone was getting lost. Now I know better. For 7 years I told myself it was just a nightmare. Then my 5-year-old brother looked at that same corner and said his name. When I was 6 we stayed at Grandma's cottage. Me on the floor every night. Same vision. A black shadow crawling toward me. He would whisper in my face, then raise one finger. SHHHH. 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 One afternoon the curtain moved. He was behind it, staring. He raised his finger. SHHHH. I screamed. My mother pulled every curtain. Nothing there. We left. Nightmares stopped. 7 years passed. When I was 13, my little brother, just 5, slept in that same room. I was making his bed when he went quiet. I looked up. He was staring at the curtain in the corner. He turned to me, face white, eyes wide. Why does the Shush Shush Man keep saying SHHHH? We slept in the kitchen with every light on. We never went back. These were real stories, from real people. If you felt something tonight, you are not alone. New horror stories every week. Subscribe so you never miss one. Lock your doors, check your windows, and try to get some sleep.